Look at this. Every quarter, I sit down with my bank export and spend the better part of a morning trying to figure out what I actually spent money on. And it doesn't matter whether I am looking at the actual bank statement or at the export itself. Neither is user-friendly. Look at this list. I'm not even going to try to say some of these. Who thought of these descriptions? This is gibberish to me. 50 lines of that. I know money moved. I have no idea what half of it means. And come tax time, my accountant wants me to explain every single one.
That's the problem with every bank statement, whether it's formatted as a printed-looking statement or a spreadsheet export. The data is all there, but it's written for the bank system, not for you. And that's not to say the bank does this intentionally, but it's still on you to figure it out.
So what do you do with it?
3 prompts. Watch this. Go to Gemini.google.com. Sign in with your Google account. Nothing to install, nothing to configure.
Do I need a new Gemini account, or can I use the same account I use for everything else?
No new account whatsoever. No extra setup. Just drag your bank export, CSV, Excel, or even a PDF straight into the chat.
That's it? It just reads the whole file?
Every row, every merchant string, all 50 transactions. And before we ask it to do anything, we ask it to look first.
Why? Why not just jump straight to the fix?
Because you want to know what it found before you ask it to act. If it misses something in the audit, you can correct it before it runs on the whole file. You stay in control of the output.
That's actually how I'd want to work with anyone on this. Look first, then fix.
First prompt. You're asking Gemini to read the file and tell you everything it sees. Patterns, problems, anything that would make this hard to use for bookkeeping or tax prep. No fixes yet. Let's use this prompt. This is a bank transaction export from a small business checking account. Review it and tell me everything you observe. What types of transactions are here, any patterns, any problems, and anything that would make this difficult to use for bookkeeping or tax prep. Do not categorize or change anything yet, just tell me what you find. Submit. And watch it go to work.
We're speeding this up. It's working through the file, and you don't need to watch it happen in real time.
Gemini goes straight to work. Right at the top, it breaks down what it sees. 2 income streams coming in. The Stripe transfers, which are your merchant processing deposits, and the ACH payments from your clients directly. On the expense side, it decoded the full picture. Payroll through Gusto, your software and subscription stack, operations like Comcast and Hartford Insurance, retail purchases, dining charges, and the monthly Zelle payments to J. Smith. Then it identified patterns. Your recurring expenses, Google, Microsoft, Comcast, insurance, payroll, the Zelle payments, all running like clockwork every month. A very predictable operating rhythm.
And 2 things in the patterns section worth calling out. There's an exact duplicate charge of $445 to the same Amazon merchant token, 12 days apart in March. And the Stripe deposits are trending up month over month. $4,250 in January, $5,100 in February, $6,200 in March. It noticed the growth trend without being asked.
Now here's where it gets useful for bookkeeping. Gemini identifies the specific items that would cause problems if you handed this file to a tax preparer as is. First, the Amazon and Costco charges.
Gemini flagged these because the bank description alone doesn't prove what was purchased. Amazon and Costco sell everything. Gemini noted that every one of those charges would need an itemized receipt to be categorized correctly. That's worth a conversation with your accountant before anything gets filed. The Zelle payments, $500 a month to J. Smith. Gemini flagged these as a potential audit risk. The bank record says nothing about who J. Smith is or what the payment is for. Contractor? Landlord? Personal draw? Gemini identified this as undocumented cash leaving the business, the kind of item worth bringing to your CPA or bookkeeper to make sure it's properly supported.
The dining entries, Starbucks, the restaurant charges. Gemini flagged these for business purpose documentation. It noted that meal deductibility depends on business context. That's a question for your tax professional, not for us or for Gemini. And then the one that catches most people. Gemini flagged that your Stripe deposits are net of fees. The number hitting your bank account is after Stripe already took its percentage. Gemini identified that your actual gross revenue and your merchant fees may not be fully represented in this file. This one is worth an explicit conversation with your accountant. We are not tax advisors, Gemini is not a tax advisor, And this is exactly the kind of finding you bring to a pro.
I have to be honest, I've always just booked those deposits as revenue. I didn't realize there might be a gap there.
That's one of the most common blind spots on a bank export. The value here is that Gemini surfaced it, so now you know to ask the question before anything gets filed.
So this file alone isn't enough for accurate books.
Not necessarily on the revenue side, but now you know exactly where the gaps are before anything gets touched. That's the point of auditing first.
And the duplicate Amazon charge. Gemini flagged it. Could be two legitimate purchases. Could be a billing error. Either way, it needs to be cross-referenced with the actual order history before it gets categorized. All right, let's do this.
Before you send your next bank export to any AI tool, write 2 or 3 sentences about your business first. What you sell, who you typically pay, and what your main expense categories are. That context turns a generic categorization job into one that actually fits your books. Prompt 2. Now you fix it, with specific instructions. You're giving Gemini your category list so it doesn't invent its own.
Why does the category list matter?
Because if you let it choose, you'll get categories that don't match how your accountant or your books are organized. You define the buckets. Gemini fills them.
And the Zelle payments, the Amazon and Costco charges, those are the ones I'd expect to see flagged.
Exactly. Anything Gemini isn't certain about goes into a review flag column. Not removed, flagged for your call.
So I'm still making the structural decisions.
You're always making the structural decisions. The tool does the sorting. Let's use this prompt. Now process every transaction. Clean each description into plain English. Assign a category from this list. Revenue and income, payroll and contractors, software and subscriptions, advertising and marketing, office supplies, meals and entertainment, utilities and internet, shipping and postage, insurance. Add a review flag column. Flag only transactions where you are uncertain whether this is a business expense or where the description gives you no useful context. Do not remove anything. Submit.
Speeding this up, nobody needs to watch this part in real time. We'll pick back up when it's done.
Shouldn't be long.
Look at that. It decoded the Ace hardware purchase from the Square merchant code. It knew exactly what to call it.
Since the table is hard to see on screen, let's export to Sheets so we can see the detail. And just a note, we are exporting to Google Sheets here, but the same result works in Excel too. Now look at the review flag column. Let's filter to Yes first, the ones Gemini wasn't certain about. 15 transactions flagged.
Right at the top, Amazon Marketplace purchase, then Starbucks coffee, another Amazon, then a Zelle payment to J. Smith, the work kitchen dining. Gemini flagged every one of these because the bank description alone doesn't tell you the business purpose.
Further down, more Amazon purchases, another Starbucks, Main Street Grill, Costco, 2 more Zelle payments, Blue Moon Cafe dining. All 15 are either mixed-use retailers, undocumented cash transfers, or meal charges that need business purpose to hold up.
Now flip the filter to No. These are the ones Gemini was certain about.
Stripe sales revenue, no flag. Google Workspace subscription, no flag. Comcast Business Internet, Gusto Payroll, Meta Facebook advertising, Acme Supply payment, Hartford Business Insurance, all clean. Gemini knew exactly what these were and categorized them without hesitation.
35 transactions categorized and done. 15 flagged for my review. That's a morning of sorting work. Handled.
And notice what it didn't do. It didn't guess on the ones it couldn't know. It surfaced them for you. That's the right call.
50 transactions in. All 50 still here. Nothing removed.
Last prompt. Format this into a clean deliverable and confirm the row count.
What does that confirm?
That nothing got dropped between the raw file and the clean output. You want a line that says 50 transactions in, 50 transactions confirmed. That's your audit trail. Let's use this prompt. Format the cleaned data as a table with these columns in this order. Date, clean description, category, amount, review flag. Sort by date ascending. Format amounts consistently. Income is positive, expenses is negative. Then show me a reconciliation summary. Original row count, number of items flagged for review, and confirmation that no transactions were removed. Submit.
Speeding through the processing, because your time is worth more than a loading screen.
Gemini also generated a clean output file. You can grab it right here if you want it. But what we came for is down here.
Original row count, 50. Processed row count, 50. Items flagged for review, 15. Data integrity check, confirmed. Total row balance is perfectly preserved. 0 transactions were removed, added, or modified.
That's your audit trail. Before anything goes to a bookkeeper or gets filed, you know exactly what this process produced and exactly where your attention needs to go.
3 prompts, start to finish. Look at where we started. A bank export full of codes that meant nothing. And look at what you have now. A clean record, organized the way you think about your business, with a flag on everything that needs your eyes on it.
And you didn't touch a single transaction manually.
The 15 flagged items are still on me, but now I know exactly which ones and why. That's a different problem than staring at 50 rows of gibberish.
That's the value. Not that AI does your accounting, it doesn't. It does the sorting, the translating, the organizing. You do the judgment calls. That's the right split.
Which is more useful than it guessing and getting something wrong that ends up in your books.
Always. One thing worth saying, if your books are more complex than what we showed here, or you want a professional set of eyes on the output before it goes anywhere, take it to a bookkeeper or accountant. You'll arrive with organized data instead of a raw export. That's a better starting point for everyone. And to be clear, nothing in this video is financial, legal, tax, or accounting advice. Not from us, not from Gemini. We are showing you a workflow. The professionals in your corner are the ones who give you advice.
And honestly, showing up prepared is half the battle.
Your account, your data, 3 prompts. The 3 prompts from today are pinned in the comments. Copy them, drop in your own bank export, and run this yourself today.
One question for the comments. What's the task in your business that still takes you way too long every month? The thing you keep meaning to fix but haven't gotten to?
Tell us what to automate next. Quick note. Some content in this video was created or assisted by AI during production or demonstration. AI outputs are probabilistic and non-deterministic. Results vary between sessions. Always review before acting on them. All data shown in this video is fictitious and used for demonstration purposes only. Any resemblance to real businesses, transactions, or individuals is purely coincidental. All product names, logos, and trademarks shown or referenced are the property of their respective owners. Mentioning or demonstrating a product does not constitute endorsement.
You made it to the end. That means you're our kind of people.
Hit like, subscribe.
Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.
We're just getting started.
I still can't read these.
That's why we use Gemini.
Oh, and I pulled up the Stripe dashboard just now. We've been booking the net deposits as gross revenue since we launched.
Remember how I told our audience to call their accountant? Well, that applies to you too.
I'll make the call. You're right.
I know.